The Galactic Empire was a powerful force in the galaxy. For centuries, they conquered planets and ruled with an iron fist. They had advanced technology and a massive fleet of warships. Now their sights were set on Earth, a small blue planet in a quiet corner of the galaxy. To them, it seemed like an easy target. On a normal day on Earth, people were going about their lives. Children played in parks, workers hurried to their jobs, and families sat down for dinner. Little did they know danger was approaching. The Empire's fleet was on its way, and it was determined to invade. In the Empire's command ship, Admiral Korath looked at the holographic map of Earth. He smiled, thinking about how simple it would be to take control. "Prepare the fleet for arrival," he ordered. "We will show these humans what true power looks like." As the fleet traveled through space, the ships glided silently, like shadows in the dark. Each ship was armed with lasers and missiles ready to strike. The crew members were trained warriors, loyal to the Empire. They believed they would win this battle easily. Meanwhile, on Earth, news of the incoming threat began to spread. Scientists at the Global Defense Center were the first to notice strange activity in space. Dr. Ava Reynolds, a brilliant astronomer, pointed at her computer screen. "Look at these readings. There are ships coming our way," she exclaimed. Her colleague, Major Tom Harris, joined her at the screen. "Are you sure?" "This can't be right!" "We need to alert the military," he said, his heart racing. They quickly contacted the leaders of the military, explaining the situation. The government held an emergency meeting where worried faces filled the room. General Miller, a tough but wise leader, spoke first. "We cannot let them take our planet. We need to prepare our defenses immediately." The room erupted into discussions and plans. Everyone knew this was a serious threat, but they had to act fast. While the humans rushed to prepare, the Empire's fleet approached Earth. As they entered the atmosphere, the sky turned dark with warships. People on the ground looked up, their eyes wide with fear. They had never seen anything like it. The Empire was here, and they meant business. The Empire's ships began to position themselves above major cities. The Admiral watched from his command ship, feeling confident. "Initiate the attack," he ordered. His voice was cold and commanding. The Empire unleashed its firepower, launching missiles toward the cities below. Back on Earth, panic spread as explosions rocked the ground. Buildings shook and people screamed as they ran for cover. In a moment, the world was changed. The Empire was attacking, and humanity had to fight back. General Miller quickly organized the military. "We need to protect our people," he shouted. Soldiers grabbed their weapons and rushed to their posts. Fighter jets soared into the sky, ready to face the incoming enemy. Earth was under attack, but they would not give up without a fight. Dr. Ava and Major Tom worked tirelessly at the Global Defense Center. They used every tool they had to track the Empire's ships and provide crucial information to the military. "We need to coordinate our attacks," Ava said, focusing on the screens in front of her. "If we work together, we can defend our planet." As the battle raged above, the humans fought bravely. Fighter jets darted through the sky, firing at the massive ships of the Empire. Some jets were shot down, but many others managed to strike back, showing the Empire that Earth was not an easy target. The Empire underestimated humanity. They thought this would be an easy conquest, but they were wrong. The spirit of the humans shone through the chaos. They fought with courage and determination, refusing to surrender their home. The battle had just begun, and the Empire would soon learn that Earth would not fall without a fight. As the Galactic Empire's attack on Earth continued, chaos reigned across the planet. But beneath the surface, something extraordinary was about to happen. Hidden deep in the ocean, far from prying eyes, lay an ancient fleet of human warships, long forgotten by time. This fleet had been waiting, ready to awaken when humanity needed it most. In a secret underwater base, a team of scientists and military personnel monitored the battle. Dr. Ava Reynolds and Major Tom Harris had just finished their frantic work at the Global Defense Center when they received a strange signal from the depths of the ocean. "What is that?" Ava asked, looking at the readings. The numbers were off the charts. Tom leaned closer to the screen. "I don't know, but it looks like something is coming to life down there," he replied, his heart racing with excitement. The two rushed to their team of scientists, eager to find out more. At the underwater base, Commander Elena Vasquez was in charge. She had dedicated her life to studying the hidden fleet, which was rumored to contain some of the most advanced ships ever built. The fleet was designed for a time when humanity faced great threats. Now it was time for the fleet to awaken. As the team activated the ancient systems, the walls of the base lit up with a bright blue glow. Alarms echoed through the hallways. "We have to hurry," Commander Vasquez shouted. "If the fleet is still operational, we might be able to fight back against the Empire." The scientists worked quickly, typing commands into their consoles. The screens showed images of the sleeping warships, each one more magnificent than the last. The ships were built with sleek designs and powerful weapons, hidden from the world for decades. As the systems powered up, the ships began to stir, their engines humming back to life. Above, the battle raged on. The Empire's ships bombarded major cities, believing they would crush humanity easily. But beneath the waves, the hidden fleet was ready. Commander Vasquez watched with pride as the fleet slowly emerged from the ocean, one by one. "This is it! We are going to defend our home!" she declared, her eyes shining with determination. As the first ship broke the surface, it gleamed in the sunlight. The crew, composed of the best pilots and engineers, stood at their stations, ready for battle. Each member of the crew knew the history of the fleet and what it meant for humanity's survival. They felt a mix of excitement and fear, knowing they were the last hope against the Empire. "Prepare for launch," Commander Vasquez ordered. The crew members rushed to their positions, adrenaline pumping through their veins. The ships were equipped with advanced technology, and their weapons were state-of-the-art. They were unlike anything the Empire had ever seen. As the fleet took to the skies, they spotted the Empire's ships above. The humans felt a surge of hope as they realized they were not alone in this fight. They were ready to join the battle and show the Empire the strength of humanity. Back at the Global Defense Center, Ava and Tom watched in awe as the hidden fleet ascended. "Look at that!" Ava shouted, pointing at the screens. "They're finally here. We can win this!" Tom nodded, feeling a rush of excitement. "Let's get this information to the military. They need to know we have reinforcements." The two quickly relayed the news to the military command. General Miller received the information with disbelief. Then a smile spread across his face. "This changes everything. We have a fighting chance now," he exclaimed, rallying the troops for a new strategy. Meanwhile, the Empire was still caught off guard. As they bombarded Earth, they suddenly noticed the fleet of human ships rising to meet them. Confusion spread among the Empire's commanders. "What is this? More human ships?" Admiral Korath shouted, realizing that this battle was far from over. The hidden fleet soared through the sky, and the humans felt the power of their ancestors coursing through them. The time for revenge had come. The battle was about to take a dramatic turn. The Empire had underestimated humanity, and now they would learn the true strength of the human spirit. With courage and determination, the human fleet prepared to strike back. They would fight for their home, and they would not back down. The Empire had awakened a force they could not control, and the humans were ready to show them what true power looked like. The sky was filled with smoke and fire as the battle raged above Earth. The Galactic Empire's warships loomed large, and their attacks had already caused great destruction in the cities below. But as the hidden human fleet emerged, the tide of the battle was about to change. Admiral Korath watched from his command ship, confidence fading as he saw the human fleet rising to meet them. "Prepare to engage!" he shouted, trying to rally his crew. But deep down he felt a chill of fear. He had underestimated humanity, and now they were coming for him. The human fleet, led by Commander Elena Vasquez, was ready for battle. Each ship was filled with brave men and women determined to protect their home. "This is our chance to show the Empire what we can do," Elena announced over the comms. "Let's fight for Earth!" As the human ships powered up their weapons, the air was electric with anticipation. Fighter jets zoomed through the sky, weaving in and out of the massive warships. The pilots felt a rush of adrenaline, knowing that they were part of something much bigger than themselves. They were fighting for their families, friends, and their entire planet. "Engage at will!" Elena commanded. The human ships opened fire, and brilliant beams of light shot toward the Empire's fleet. The first blast hit an enemy ship directly, causing it to explode in a shower of sparks. The humans cheered, their spirits rising as they saw their attack succeed. The Empire quickly responded, returning fire with powerful lasers and missiles. The sky lit up with explosions, and chaos erupted. Some human ships were hit, but the pilots were trained to handle danger. They maneuvered skillfully, dodging attacks and striking back with precision. In the midst of the battle, Major Tom Harris and Dr. Ava Reynolds monitored the action from the Global Defense Center. "Look at them go!" Ava exclaimed, her eyes wide with excitement. "They're fighting back harder than we ever imagined." Tom nodded, his heart pounding. "This is just the beginning. If we can hold our ground, we might turn the tide completely." They exchanged determined glances, knowing they had to support the fighters as best they could. Back in the skies, the human fleet pressed forward. Commander Vasquez watched as her ships coordinated their attacks. "Target their command ship," she ordered. "If we can take down their leader, we might break their will to fight." The pilots followed her orders, their hearts pounding with purpose. They flew together in tight formations, their ships blazing with energy. They unleashed wave after wave of attacks on the Empire's flagship. The Empire's crew scrambled to defend themselves, firing back furiously. But the humans were relentless. They fought like a swarm of angry hornets, determined to protect their planet. One by one, Empire ships fell from the sky, unable to withstand the fierce human assault. "Keep pushing forward," Elena urged her crew, feeling the thrill of victory surge through her. As the battle continued, the Empire began to realize that their superiority in numbers meant nothing against the human spirit. The once confident admiral felt a rising panic as he saw more of his ships destroyed. "Reinforcements!" he shouted, desperate for help. "We need backup now." But the Empire's reinforcements were still far away, and time was running out. The humans seized the opportunity. With each passing moment, their confidence grew. They were fighting for their homes, their families, and their very existence. This was not just a battle, it was a fight for survival. "Now is our moment," Tom shouted from the command center. "We need to coordinate with the fleet and target their engines. If we can cripple their ships, we can win this fight." Ava quickly relayed the information to the human fleet. "All ships, focus fire on the engines of the enemy vessels. Disable them!" The message echoed across the comms, and the pilots nodded in agreement. The human fleet adjusted their focus, aiming for the vulnerable engines of the Empire's ships. One by one, they struck true, sending more enemy vessels spiraling out of control. The tide of battle was shifting, and hope began to blossom in the hearts of the human pilots. With renewed strength, the human fleet pressed on. They had tasted victory, and they were not about to stop. The Empire's grip on Earth was weakening, and the humans felt the power of their determination fueling them. The battle had only just begun, but the humans were ready to fight to the end. They would show the Galactic Empire that they were not to be underestimated. With every shot fired and every enemy ship destroyed, they were taking back their planet. Earth was their home, and they would do whatever it took to defend it. As the battle raged on, the Galactic Empire was losing its grip on the situation. The humans fought fiercely, pushing the Empire's ships further back. Admiral Korath watched helplessly as his fleet took hit after hit, and panic filled his heart. He knew he had to do something drastic to turn the tide of battle. "Send out a distress signal for reinforcements," Korath ordered his communications officer, his voice shaking with urgency. "We need help now!" The officer hurried to send the message, knowing that every second counted. Back on Earth, Commander Elena Vasquez and her crew felt the thrill of victory, but they also knew they had to stay alert. The Empire was desperate, and desperate enemies could be dangerous. "Keep your eyes open," she warned her pilots. "They might pull something unexpected." Tom Harris and Ava Reynolds continued to monitor the battle from the Global Defense Center. They could see the Empire's ships starting to scatter, but they also sensed the fear and confusion among the enemy ranks. "We need to take advantage of this," Tom said, his brow furrowed. "If we can disrupt their communication, we might throw them into chaos." "Let's relay that to the fleet," Ava replied, typing furiously on her keyboard. She sent a message to all human ships, instructing them to target the Empire's communication arrays. If we can cut off their orders, they'll be lost. In the heat of the battle, the human pilots received the new orders. "You heard the commander," shouted Captain Jake Matthews, a veteran pilot. "Let's take out their communications." The pilots nodded in agreement, adrenaline coursing through their veins as they charged toward the enemy ships. As the human fighters maneuvered through the chaos, they targeted the communication arrays on the Empire's flagship and other vessels. The Empire had relied on its technology for control, but now that technology was being turned against them. Back on the command ship, Admiral Korath's frustration grew as he noticed the sudden chaos among his ranks. "What is happening?" he demanded. The officers scrambled to find answers, but communication with other ships was failing. The distress signal was sent, but it was too late. The humans were already in control. Korath's mind raced. He needed to do something drastic. "Prepare the orbital strike," he barked. "We will show them the true power of the Empire." His officers exchanged worried glances. An orbital strike could destroy entire cities, but it would also harm their own troops. "Sir, that could cause massive civilian casualties," one officer protested. But Korath was too consumed by desperation. "We don't have a choice! If we don't act now, we will lose everything," he shouted, silencing his crew with his fierce determination. As the order was given, the Empire's ships began to align for the strike. Back on the human side, Commander Vasquez saw the movement and realized what was about to happen. "They're planning an orbital strike! We have to stop them!" she yelled into the comms. The human pilots felt a wave of fear wash over them. The thought of losing their home, their families, was unbearable. "We can't let that happen!" Captain Matthews shouted. "We need to intercept their ships and prevent the strike." The human fleet sprang into action, racing toward the Empire's command ship. They had to disable the weapons before it was too late. The pilots pushed their ships to the limit, flying with all their skill and courage. As they approached, the Empire's ships opened fire in a desperate attempt to protect their flagship. The air crackled with energy, and explosions lit up the sky. Human pilots dodged and weaved, narrowly escaping the blasts as they focused on their target. "We're almost there!" Commander Vasquez called out, her heart pounding. The crew of the flagship worked together, coordinating their attack to take out the enemy's weapons. The time was now or never. With one final push, the human fleet launched a coordinated attack on the Empire's command ship. Missiles soared through the air, striking true. The flagship shuddered as explosions rocked its hull. Inside, Admiral Korath felt the impact, and his anger turned to fear. "Reinforcements! Where are you?" he cried, but it was too late. One by one, the Empire's ships began to falter. The human fleet pressed on, refusing to back down. They fought for their home, their future, and the very essence of humanity. The Empire's desperation was palpable, and they were beginning to realize that they had underestimated the resolve of their opponents. As the tide of battle continued to turn, the human fleet felt a newfound strength. They were not just fighting back, they were reclaiming their planet. The Empire's arrogance had led them to this moment, and now they would pay the price. The humans were ready to take back what was theirs, and the Empire was left scrambling, desperate to hold on. With every shot fired, they were one step closer to victory. The battle was far from over, but the humans had found their strength, and they would fight until the end. The battlefield was a chaotic scene of smoke and fire. The human fleet had pushed the Galactic Empire to its limits. Their ships were battered, and the once mighty Empire was now fighting to survive. Commander Elena Vasquez stood at the helm of her flagship, determination in her eyes. "We have them on the run. Let's finish this," she shouted, rallying her crew. The human pilots felt a rush of energy as they flew through the thick of battle. They were fighting not just for their planet, but for their very way of life. Each explosion ignited their spirits, and they pressed forward with renewed strength. But as the humans advanced, Admiral Korath faced a grim reality. His once powerful fleet was crumbling, and panic filled the hearts of his officers. "Sir, we can't hold out much longer," one officer cried, glancing at the control panel. The screens flickered with damage reports from multiple ships. Korath felt a wave of anger wash over him. He had always believed that the Empire was invincible. "We must regroup! Prepare to retreat!" he ordered, but the fear in his voice was evident. As the Empire began to withdraw, the human fleet sensed victory within reach. "Don't let them escape!" shouted Captain Jake Matthews. "We have to finish this now!" The pilots pushed their ships harder, firing at the retreating vessels. The Empire's ships were slower and more vulnerable now, and the humans took advantage of the situation. But as the last of the Empire's ships began to scatter, a strange silence fell over the battlefield. Commander Vasquez noticed a large Imperial ship that had not moved. It hovered in place, showing no signs of retreat. "What are they doing?" she wondered aloud, suspicion creeping in. On the Empire's command ship, Admiral Korath felt trapped. He knew he had to make a choice. The loss was clear, and the fight had become futile. "Send a message to the human fleet," he instructed his communications officer, trembling with uncertainty. "We seek parley." The officer hesitated but quickly sent the message, unsure how the humans would react. Korath took a deep breath, hoping that they would grant him mercy. He knew the Empire had done terrible things, but he needed a chance to save his crew and himself. Meanwhile, Elena and her crew were in shock. A message from the enemy? It was unexpected. "What do we do?" asked one officer, unsure of how to proceed. Elena's mind raced. This could be a trap, or it could be a genuine request for mercy. She knew they had to be cautious. "Let's hear them out," she finally decided. "We've shown our strength, but we also have to show our honor." The crew nodded, recognizing the importance of her words. They wanted to win the war, but they also didn't want to become like the Empire, ruthless and cold. As the human fleet slowed its advance, the transmission from Admiral Korath came through. "This is Admiral Korath of the Galactic Empire," he began, his voice heavy with defeat. "We seek your mercy. We no longer wish to fight. We want to negotiate for the safety of our remaining forces." Elena listened closely, her heart pounding. She could feel the tension in the air as her crew awaited her response. "You've caused great pain and suffering," she replied, her voice steady but firm. "Why should we trust you?" Korath took a deep breath. "Because we are beaten. We have lost too much. I do not wish to lose more lives. Our people want peace." His words were filled with desperation, and Elena could sense his sincerity. After a tense pause, she nodded to her crew. "I believe him, but we must set terms. If we agree to this, we want assurance that the Empire will never attack Earth again." The crew murmured in agreement, feeling the weight of the moment. "Agreed," Korath replied, relief washing over him. "We will sign an official treaty, promising peace and respect for your planet." Elena's heart raced. This was their chance to end the conflict without further bloodshed. The two sides began to communicate, discussing the terms of their peace. The humans made it clear: no more attacks, and the Empire must respect Earth's sovereignty. Korath listened carefully, knowing he had no choice but to comply. As the negotiations continued, both sides realized the importance of this moment. The humans had shown mercy, while the Empire, once ruthless, was now humbled. The balance of power had shifted, and a new era was about to begin. Finally, the treaty was drawn up, and both sides signed it, marking the end of a long and painful conflict. The humans cheered, feeling a mix of relief and triumph. They had defended their home and shown that they could stand against even the mightiest of foes. As the Empire's ships prepared to leave, Elena watched from her flagship. She felt a sense of hope. Perhaps this was the beginning of a new understanding between their worlds. They had faced great darkness but emerged stronger and united. In that moment, she realized that the true strength of humanity lay not just in their ability to fight, but in their ability to forgive and seek peace. They had shown mercy, and that would be the legacy they carried into the future.